Judge Cannon, what's her name? Aileen Cannon, the Trump appointee who, prior to becoming a judge 6 months ago, she operated a flower shop or something. I'm making that up, but not by very much, that's for sure. But she is Trump's girl, and she is going to do everything she can, as she has displayed up to this point, to delay, fuck up, or otherwise try to sidetrack the case against Trump that's being heard in her courtroom. Now she has baffled legal experts who are baffled by her to begin with, because what she has done now is she has delayed, that's why Trump loves her, several procedural steps in the trial of the orange bastard in the classified documents case, the one, the Mar-a-Lago classified documents case that Trump stole and tried to sell to despots around the world. Of course he did. Come on. Are you kidding me? Anyway, this ruling that she just recently made is going to complicate other cases involving this filthy pig. What she did was, and she's a federal court judge, obviously, or Trump could have appointed her, but she pushed back a meeting with prosecutors until February that was scheduled to be done, I think, in December, but she's pushed it back. This was a meeting to review classified documents and decide which ones the orange bastard could get his filthy hands on. And she's refused to schedule a hearing that's supposed to determine which sensitive materials Trump's lawyers intend to use at trial. That's supposed to begin on March 1st. March 1st, it's going to be delayed. This is Trump's M.O. It always has been. Lie, cheat, steal, delay, countersue, anything to drive people away from his criminal, filthy self. Anyway, all of this could delay the trial up to 4 months. That's according to the Daily Beast. A former CIA lawyer with years of experience working on cases involving classified documents. That's the kind of people they have to drag into this situation with this orange bastard. Anyway, Brian Greer's name, he said, quote, "The tricky thing is it puts everything in limbo." He said, quote, "Another judge could schedule something for May, but may not want to because it's possible trial will still go in May. If you're a cynic, and I'm not," he said, "you might say she deliberately did this," end quote. Well, yes, you're absolutely right, Brian. Of course she deliberately did this. I'm sure that this corrupt judge is working hand in glove with the corrupt attorneys that are representing the orange bastard. This is how this works. I mean, I know. I was brought up to believe that there were certain aspects of life in this country that were out of touch from political pollution. And I was brought up that way, and I still maintain that belief until a situation like this comes up, and I realize, come on, Malloy, you you naive jerk. At your age, you still believe this stuff? Of course everybody's on the take. Ooh, now doesn't that sound cynical? But if you have 3 Supreme Court justices who committed perjury in order to get on the Supreme Court, and you have 2 additional Supreme Court judges who have determined that they are going to destroy years and years and years of judicial precedent, well, then what's one to believe? So my stance that there are certain aspects of society that are above corruption is a joke at this point. It's laughable. Only it's, seriously, it's difficult to laugh at this shit. Difficult, if not impossible. Now, the orange bastard is supposed to stand trial in Washington, D.C. on another one of his corruption, filth, law-breaking trials, the same week as Super Tuesday in March. That's for his attempt to overthrow the 2020 election results. And his business fraud trial is expected to start 3 weeks later in Manhattan. Yeah, another business fraud trial, not this, the one that he is, that is being heard, has already been determined now. And sometime after that, he's going to face trial in this huge racketeering case here in Georgia. And yet, there's not a Christian evangelical in this country who makes a noise, even a squeaking noise in protest, who's not going to vote for this filthy goddamn Antichrist. I would ask again and again and again, pardon the language, but what the fuck is wrong with these people? These are Christians? Well, they claim to be, so who am I to say they're not? But they're not. They're totalitarian, fascist son of a bitches who use the bludgeon, the blunt instrument of religion to try to beat people away from it. Hey, you can't touch me. I believe in the Lord Jesus Christ. I've been washed in the blood of the Lamb. I am sacrosanct. You rotten goddamn liberal Democrat, you are a sinner and you're going to burn in hell forever. Oh, man. Sip of coffee, please. Thank you, River Moon. Now, all of the cases I just mentioned run the real risk of being delayed or derailed by Judge Aileen's decision in Florida. And some legal experts, and I find this kind of laughable, but some legal efforts, according to published reports, are wondering whether to blame her inexperience that has caused this or her allegiance to Trump. Hey, listen, published legal experts, give me a call and or send me an email, anything. I will tell you what the either or is, you crazy, insane son of a bitches. Of course it's her allegiance to Trump. He owns her. She is at the foot of his cross, determined to help him pull out the nails so he can walk the landscape again doing his shit. Yeah, give me a call. Or no, send me an email. Legal experts who can't figure out whether to blame her inexperience or the fact that she is a huge part of the Trump cult. Who the fuck saw this coming? I'll tell you who saw all this coming. Yeah, back in 2015, 2016, the scorned Hillary Clinton. She, being female and therefore having powers of perception that the average man can't even fathom, much less try to comprehend, she was able to see what this son of a bitch was going to do, how this is, maybe not the specifics, but Hillary Clinton knew that this chaos would result if this orange bastard got anywhere near elective office, especially the presidency. And here we are. She tried to warn us. Norman Ornstein, senior fellow emeritus at the American Enterprise Institute. I'm sure you've seen him before. Constitutional legal expert. He tweeted this, quote, "She," referring to Aileen, "she is a full-fledged member of the Trump defense team. She is utterly unfit for the bench. Someone should introduce an impeachment resolution against her. It will go nowhere, but will highlight her outrageous conduct," end quote. Yeah, well, this is repeated weekly, daily, hourly in what has become Trump's playground, United States political system, where you have experts like Lawrence Tribe or the conservative judge, what was his name, the one who talked so slowly during the J6 committee hearings, or you have Norman Ornstein. Political experts, constitutional experts who keep warning what is about to happen. Just like the climate scientists who have kept warning for 40 years about what was going to happen. And it brings me back to what is always my starting point when I come across topics like this, and that is simply the question, what the hell is wrong with us? What does it take to wake us up to what is going on? Jesus. Now, Trump is going to have to deal, if this case in Florida ever comes to trial, what is called the Classified Information Procedures Act. And ironically, that was partly crafted by then Senator Joe Biden years ago. And it established a process for sharing evidence while protecting national security secrets. And I'm talking about sharing evidence with the attorneys for people who are accused of acts of treason against the United States, like Trump. Trump is a treasonous son of a bitch. And I don't give a shit if no other commentator uses the word treason or uses the term Christian fascist or Christian Nazi. I really don't give a shit. That's what they are. You know the saying, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, and shits like a duck, it must be a duck. And that's Trump. So this Classified Information Procedures Act is the process that allows a judge to determine what evidence brought by prosecutors can be shared with defense attorneys. And they usually schedule what prosecutors call a Section 4 hearing. And that sort of hearing is to review some of the most sensitive materials. And because it is necessary to have this hearing in order to help the defense, in this case, the orange filth, have a defense. And the hearing, therefore, is extremely important. Remember Brian Greer, that former CIA lawyer who's had years of experience working on these kinds of cases. He says it's puzzling why the judge would order a delay when this is necessary. This kind of a hearing is necessary so determination can be made what kind of information, what kind of classified material will be available to the attorneys. Well, again, if anybody's puzzled, please have them email Mike Malloy. There is no mystery here. This is part of what Trump does. Delay, hide, lie, cheat, countersue, run the other way, drag it out until you wear down his opponents in the past. And now his adversary is the justice system in this country. No, not the Justice Department, the entire system of rules and regulations and laws that are necessary for a republic, a constitutional republic, to continue to operate. And this is what Trump and the Christians are trying to destroy. Burn it to the fucking ground. Get it out of the way. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. You know, the Progressive Voices Network brings you commercial-free commentary from today's leading progressive radio hosts and pundits, like me, Mike Malloy, 24 hours a day. I'm not your typical old guy from the 80s or the 90s talk radio host, and Progressive Voices is not your typical talk radio network. It's a listener-supported nonprofit with no corporate control whatsoever over our broadcast. So hosts like me, Mike Malloy, are free to rant and scream and carry on about whatever we like. We're often controversial, but we're never boring. Weeknights, 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West on the Progressive Voices Network. Always progressive, always on. I'm Mike Malloy. Keep it lit.